I'm going to do a decent rant. And this one is really important, and we touched on this in the podcast, especially when you guys are selling beats online. Sending out those placement emails. Yeah, man, it's been going pretty well. I mean, it's been going pretty well in terms of being able to stay on top of it. I think I'm literally going to do this every other month now. So what I've basically done is like stocked up on like a ton of beats last month, and I've literally just shot 2 of those beats every day out to my list of placement emails that I've found on Instagram and whatnot, and it's going pretty well actually. So if you're looking for placements, then this is a good way of doing it. It's a good way of doing it because you're not like struggling to keep up with the schedule. You know, you have those beats ready to go. All you have to do in the morning is just load up those emails and send them out. And before you all say, you know, you're sending out the same beats to the same people. Yes, I am, but if people are interested in using that beat, like Shorty, you know, these people that are signed, then the label sends the contract anyway. So the first person to get the contract gets the beat. Whoever else replies after that, I just tell them that the beat's already been licensed. So testing out this new autofocus on this lens, because my old one was like an adapter, so it didn't focus very well. So every time I did a new shot, I had to like change the focus on it. Anyway, big news today. I'm actually doing a podcast with Prod by Ocean, which I was quite surprised about. He reached out to me like in May. He sent me a DM. He just said, "I found your YouTube channel. Got some really good content. Like, keep doing your thing." I was like, must be working, carried on doing my thing, and then just been speaking every now and then, you know, about, you know, a few things like filming. And yeah, he asked me to come on the podcast last week, so we're going to be filming that tonight. Really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a really good conversation, just to get to know the guy, to be honest, because like I looked at his channel on Social Blade, and he actually started uploading about only a few months before I did, but he's been like way more consistent than I have. So, you know, it just goes to show, like, look at the size of his channel, and like he's been super consistent with this style of content, whereas if you go back like 6 months and look at my stuff, I was making like really random content, like none of it was consistent. So I'm interested to see like how he just kept the motivation up for that, because that was like one of the main reasons why I did different stuff all the time. But yeah, man, anyway, let's go make a beat. Change that sound. Make it sound a little bit thinner, don't want it too harsh. Get the tag in now.
LLB.
Boost that motherfucker. Last but not least, this is gonna finish it off. You're not coming. No. Jesus Christ. I'm going to do a decent rant. And this one is really important, and we touched on this in the podcast, especially when you guys are selling beats online and you're trying to just turn this into like a solid income where you can rely on one strategy to just to bring in revenue for you whilst you try to build up your career. So yeah, this is going to be a juicy rant. Basically, what I've noticed is that there's a select few people that reach out to me and they say, bro, my brakes are terrible. Bro, like, the strategies that you've put in your videos, like, they're super helpful. Like, I started doing them, a month ago. I've already made X amount of sales in that amount of time. But on the flip side, there's people that comment on some of the videos, or they send me like a DM and they say, like, these strategies are outdated, or I tried this strategy, it doesn't work, or why is it not working for me? There's lots of things that go into it, and there's lots of things that affect what, the conversion rate, if you will, like, as to whether like this strategy works. So one of the reasons is catalog. Okay, I'm gonna try and cover the most obvious ones and then go into like the more niche ones and hopefully try and cover as many as I can. So the first one is your catalog. Like you need to have a solid catalog. Then what I mean by catalog is you need like a lot of beats. Basically, you need a decent amount of beats for somebody to dive into, listen through, browse through, and if they're feeling any of them, then they're more likely to buy. If you start doing this DM strategy and you have like 5 beats on your beat store, it doesn't look good to the person who's like looking at your beats. And a big reason as to why like that doesn't work, like people, when you reach out to somebody, they're going to do their research before they reply to you. If they're a beat buyer, then they want to know who they're buying their beats from. So if you send them a DM and they check you out before they reply to you, because obviously that's like the natural thing that you do, if someone reaches out to you, then you want to see what they're about before you even think about replying. So if they check you out, if they go over to your beat store and they see that you've only got like 5 beats on your beat store and you've posted like 3 pieces of content on your Instagram, then they're either not going to reply or they'll just like the message or something like that. It's not that you're basically just shooting yourself in the foot before you've even given yourself a chance. So it is super important to have a catalog. So get at least 50 beats on your beat store before you start reaching out to people. Okay, get a decent amount of beats, because not only will that put more confidence in the person that's browsing through your beats, it gives them more stuff to browse through. If you have 5 beats and all of them are trash, they're obviously not going to buy them. If you have 50 beats, half of them they vibe to, then that's just going to boost your chances of making that sale. So that's the first thing, get a catalog, because if you have no products to sell, then no one's going to buy anything. Another one is that the beats are not up to a decent quality. The melodies might be on point, you might have really good drum patterns, but sometimes the mix is off, sometimes the melody's too loud, so you're not leaving enough space for the artist to do their thing. Sometimes the drums are too muddy, sometimes it's a mixing issue, sometimes your beats just aren't there yet. But the thing you have to do is just be really brutally honest with yourself, and it might even be worth just reaching out to people for a few months just to get some feedback, or if you don't get any feedback, then that your beats aren't good enough yet. Here's a few other ones. So when you're reaching out to people using the DM strategy, you have to be genuine. Okay, that's a really big one. You have to be genuine. If you're not being genuine, you're literally just saying, hey bro, buy my beats, or hey bro, I've got some beats, so check me out. Anything where you're just asking for stuff from somebody, immediately is like a switch off sign. Like it just doesn't work. So you have to be genuine. You can't be spamming people. Like, I feel like if you're watching this and you're doing that and you feel like that's the only way that it's going to work, I feel like everybody has to go through that phase. So just get it out of your system and do it, but get it out of your system quick, because you're not going to make any sales that way. The best response that you'll get is like, yeah, for sure bro, I'll check them out, and then you never hear from them again. Tried it, it doesn't work. So way to fix that is just be genuine. Instead of reaching out to them and saying like you want them to do something for you, reach out to them and give them some support. If you haven't got anything to offer, then just give them some genuine feedback. Just reach out to them and say, hey bro, I've just listened to X song. Be specific with the song. Make sure that you listen to their most recent song or the most recent EP, listen to 2 or 3 of their songs, and then say you've got some really nice material, like your mixes sound super clean, your flow is on point. Give them some like detailed feedback and just be really positive. And then in that follow-up message you can say like, hey, I might have a couple of beats that can work for you, it'd be really dope to put something together, let me know what you think. And if you rinse and repeat that process, then you're going to get 1 or 2 decent conversations per day. So it's better to be as genuine as possible and focus more on the quality of the message that you're sending these individual people, as opposed to reaching out to the most amount of people, because that's a quick way of burning out, or it's a quick way of not coming across as genuine and just trying to do the numbers. And a lot of you guys wonder like, how do you drop in that you sell beats? Don't drop in that you sell beats, just say I might have a few beats that can work for you, can I send them through? If they say yes, cool. Send them a link to your beat store and just tell them that there's a free download option on there. That's all you have to do. If they're about their business and if they're regular beat buyers, they know what to do. You don't have to tell them what to do. So that's another one as to why it's not working. You got to be genuine. Aircon. Oh my god, it's so hot. All right, another one. And this is probably the most, I'd say, like the most heartbreaking of them all. I stand by this so strongly, is that you have to have like timing to understand how to navigate yourself like in these conversations. It just takes a lot of repetitions, so don't be discouraged within the first few weeks if you're not making sales. You have to sort of get used to that routine of sending those DMs and figuring out your language. Like you have to, you know how to speak to them, and that only comes with speaking to them and then figuring out like, if I mention this, then we have a good conversation. Just figuring out like how to properly speak to people. It's weird because you sat behind a keyboard, but you have to be social and you have to know how to socialize on the platform. So that's a big one. You have to be putting the time in. You have to put time in order to generate like an energy around yourself that when people see that you've reached out to them, some of them might even recognize you. Some of them might say, oh, that guy's reached out to me, that's pretty cool. If you can put enough time in and build up your catalog, build up your brand, and just have a decent foundation as to where like when you reach out to someone, they may have already heard of you, or when they go and check you out, they're like, this guy is like about his business, like this guy is putting in tons of work and tons of effort into his material. I'm going to reply to him. Like, I want a conversation with this guy. You want to build up that energy around yourself and your brand. That's going to encourage people to reply to you. You're going to have way more success if you put the time in and focus on the quality of your content and make sure that there's a ton of that quality content, as opposed to not having barely any beats, barely any brand, and you're just reaching out to people willy-nilly, because you do just look like another spam account. So that's one huge thing. Dying. Another reason is that you're being too beggy. It's so obvious and so transparent, especially to artists that have been doing this a while and have already had people reach out to them, about beats. It comes across as either too salesy, or that you're just new to this and you don't really know what you're doing. You're immediately begging for the sale. You're constantly like your whole mindset is that you're just trying to get something out of that person. If that happens, like when that happens to you and when it happens to me, I always ignore those messages. Producers reach out and say, bro, do a collab, or bro, give me a shout out. It's like, who in their right mind's going to see a message from a stranger telling them to do something and then think, oh, do you know what, I'm going to do that? Like, people don't work that way. Just focus on having a really nice conversation with that person and show a genuine interest in what they actually are trying to build for themselves. Just like you, they're trying to build up a career. So if you can facilitate that and go, hey bro, I've got a few beats, let me send them through, feel free to use the free download, let's just get some music out. They're way more likely to come back to you if you've got good beats and you're super accommodating like that. Honestly, like, aircon, do not be beggy. Please don't be beggy. You're just making life way more difficult for yourself, and it's just an awkward conversation for the person that you're reaching out to, okay? So yeah, there's a few reasons. Is there any more? I don't think so. In terms of like a solution to all of this, keep working, just keep putting out content. Just think about it if the shoe was on the other foot. If someone's reaching out to you, how would you want someone to reach out to you? If like somebody was wanting a collab from you, how would you expect that person to come through to you in order to get that collab? You would expect them to be about their business, so you'd expect them to, I don't know, say, hey man, I'd love to work with you on something. This is a serious inquiry, let me know how you go about your collabs. Like, you'd expect someone to say that. That's like the genuine way of going about it if someone wanted to get a collab out of you. If someone DM'd you and just said, bro, I need more exposure, let me do a collab with you, you're just gonna either delete that message or just not reply to it. They clearly just want free clout. It's all directed towards what they want. So just put yourselves in their shoes and think like, how would I want this person to reach out to me? And then try and replicate that yourself when you're reaching out to these artists, okay? More aircon. I'm dying again. So those are my reasons. It really comes down to the content, the quality of your outreach, quality of your beats, and how well you can speak to people. If you can tick all those boxes, trust me, you're going to have a much easier time trying to convert sales. Hope that helped. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Download my free drum kit as well. It's in the description. But yeah, I'm out. Bye bye.